Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I hope you're having a good Friday. Hope you had a good week. I'm having a little bit of a wake and bake. And today, we're smoking on a couple things. Excuse me. And obviously, we're doing a little extra. So, this week, we're smoking in the joint a little bit of Shred Funkmaster, which is, let's see here, about 7 milligrams, 0.7 milligrams of CBD, and I think it was 23% THC. It says, on the package, it says 4.49 milligrams, but I'm pretty sure it was about 23%. I can't find it on here. I fucked up the package. So that's what's in the joint. In the bowl, it was a mix of the shred and a little bit of leftover cherry pie indica, which is the 60-40 split. And the lineage is Granddaddy Purple and Durban Poison. And that's 23%, the cherry pie. So, both pretty strong weeds. The shred one's a hybrid. Oh, let's see here. It's a mix of something too. The shred is curated Kush and grass aroma. So, yeah, it is actually delicious. I find though that the shred stuff in a bong is a little bit more harsh than in a joint. I like it better in the joint. And the cherry pie was, I don't know, man. It was good in both, to be honest with you. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like I've noticed because I'm a bong guy and I like bongs, especially when I'm at home. What am I trying to say here? Holy fuck! I just lost my train of thought. That bong hit was pretty good. Hold on one sec here. A little water refresh the brain. Jesus Christ! Good start to the episode, man. Well, okay, so the cherry pie, yeah, it's good in both, but I find the shred stuff is a little bit better in the bong. It smokes a little bit harsher in the joint. Did I say that right? I don't know. Fuck, it's starting to kick in. So anyway, aside from that, I picked up a couple of these drinks, these THC drinks. I want to try a different kind. I tried the MXG stuff, which I found really good and really tasty. This is strawberry kiwi from Fresh, I think it is. PHRESH. It's got 10 milligrams of THC. CBD is 0. And so the MXG one, here's a little note, all right? Okay, the MXG one was, if you drank the whole drink, it was the total of 3.67 grams at one time. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're drinking these fucking things. This one is higher than that. So this one is actually comparative to 5.07 grams. I've already had one of these earlier in the week, these fresh strawberry kiwi. It's basically sparkling water with a little flavor in it. It's not like the MGX or MXG, whichever one I talked about in an earlier podcast with mango and watermelon. Those ones are more like a pop. This is more like sparkling water. It's good if you like sparkling water. I found that it wasn't, even though it's 5.07 grams, I found that it wasn't quite as strong as the MXG one. And I tried it on an empty stomach because, to be fair, I think it's MGX. Now that I think about it. Anyway, when I tried that one, I tried it on an empty stomach. So I figured I'd give this a fair shake, and it did not hit me as hard. So now I'm again on an empty stomach, one bong hit in, and I'm drinking this drink throughout the episode. The other thing I got is a little bit of gummies, baby. Now, it's in a fucked up container because they melted and they became goo. So I poured them in here in this little, it's like, for you guys listening, it's kind of like one of those like little plastic dip cups. It's about the size of that. And it's about, I don't know, half full, maybe just over a quarter full of like solid gummy. So if you're watching, you can see it right here, okay? I've already eaten like, I don't know, what is that? Maybe less than a quarter of it. Tried it out with some buddies to see if it was still good. And it's all right. But they used to be gummy bears that were 10 milligrams. So this whole container, we figured, has 210 milligrams. So, since we're talking about space this episode, yeah, baby, space. We're talking space. Yeah, we're going to go to the motherfucking moon. So, in order to do this proper, I'm going to add, not the whole thing, I'm not going that far to the moon, but I'm going to take this good-sized chunk, which should be about 10, 15 milligrams to add to my 10 milligram drink, the bong hit I just took, and the joint that I'm about to smoke, while we talk about space, baby. Why? Why are we going to talk about space? Well, because I did a poll on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and space and what was it? The weed versus ego were the picks. So I already did weed versus ego. Last week I had to capitalize. I was supposed to do space, but I had to capitalize on the fact that we had done an experiment, an impromptu experiment with our buddy who greened out. So you have the How to Stop a Green Out episode, and then from last week. So we're talking space today, baby. We're talking space. So after all that, I can't wait to go to fucking space. Now keep in mind, I am not giving you any like real solid scientific information here. Don't want you to get the wrong idea. This is my silly weed smoking talk about space. Okay? So when I was thinking about this, I decided that what I had to do was I had to watch a lot of space movies, get immersed in some space. Because the last time I talked about space, it was kind of like it's called the Space Episode. You can check it out. But it was a little bit like, it was just my theory of if you were in like a spaceship, I guess. Like not even a spaceship, like what's the movie? You know the 100? Like that. Like there's a big arc where everybody lives, and that was like the whole deal, right? So I started to think a couple different things. While I was reflecting on this, I thought, okay, what if we were able to actually colonize a planet where we could live there? What would happen? And I think that like the Jetsons wouldn't happen. I think Earth would happen there. So we would find a way, even if that meant we had to like wear spacesuits and shit and walk around streets. So I think that we would just build houses very similarly to this, and I think I don't know that we would evolve that much farther in there, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I picture everybody in rows of houses, little, like suburbs and cities and stuff like that, and everybody walking around in spacesuits. I think that would be fucking fun as shit, man. You hop on, you put on a spacesuit, you gotta walk down to your buddy Pete's fucking place in this spacesuit. But the only problem is I found out, because one of my questions from the last episode was, can you smoke weed in space? And right now, okay, if you were to go to, I researched this. I actually looked this up this time, okay? So this is true. Now, it totally makes sense, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. Maybe I did, and maybe I just didn't say anything, but probably not. So I had researched how to, or if you could smoke weed in space, and not like floating out in space, because spacesuit, right? So, but if you were on like one of the spaceships, like the International Space Station or whatever, if you were there, could you smoke weed in there? And the answer is no. You cannot smoke weed in there. Why? Because they're pumping in oxygen all the time. Duh. Like, the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? What was I thinking? So, you can't light anything. You're not allowed to take a lighter into space, because oxygen is highly flammable in high concentrations. And so if you spark a lighter, there's a good chance that everybody's going to blow up. So, nyapa just smoking the weed in the spaces, okay? Instead, what you gotta do is you gotta take edibles. Because as far as I can find, there's nobody saying that edibles won't do the trick. Which I think I did mention, because I feel like now I would have known that. Like, I mean, I used to work in places where you had to watch gas levels and things like that. So, yeah. But could you imagine that? You're the fucking... Potheads don't think, man. If people weren't telling us, like, hey, don't do that, we would do that. We'd be like, oh, that's what... You know the ingredients? You know how when they have, like, the little warning on the back of a can that's fucking ridiculous? like when they say, you know, do not ingest, and it's, like, turpentine. You know? Or, like, bleach. Like, that's... I feel like that's a pothead. A pothead was like, wonder what would happen here. I don't really think that, okay? I truly believe that people that smoke weed are actually far more motivated and well-rounded than most people think. But that's just my theory. So I don't think that we would have any problem with, you know, going into space and some dum-dum lighting a lighter, even if nobody told us, okay? Fuck. But I'm saying you can't smoke weed on the space station. So you'd have to take edibles. Now, the fun part about edibles and space, I think, would be that you feel like you're already floating and disconnected to the ground when you eat edibles anyway, right? Okay? So you add that to a weightless space where you have to strap yourself in. It'd be fucking awesome. Because I can remember when I was a kid and I got high, I wasn't on edibles, but I, you know, smoked a joint, did whatever, and then I decided to go swimming in my parents' pool. The feeling of weightlessness and floating was so awesome. You know what would be cool? If you could, I bet you it would be wicked. It would feel like like Jello. Maybe? I don't know. But that was the greatest feeling. So I can imagine floating around in space on edibles would be pretty fucking wicked. Wow, everything's hitting me all at once. This is nice. This is a good deal. I hope you're having a good Friday. I hope you had a good week, like I said before. Thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, on Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm pretty sure I said this already, but I just wasn't sure, so I wanted to make sure. So you get it twice now. Now, excuse me. One of the other things about space that I've often wondered, especially now that, like, okay, so we have, like, a ground up perspective of ourselves, right? And, like, the world around us. So it's, like, floor to ceiling. Whereas as soon as, I feel like, if you're, like, thrown into space, not thrown into space. If you take a mission to space, okay, and you're an actual astronaut, like, you get to, like, the people that are buying the tickets to go with the billionaires into space. I know it's not the same kind of space, but they get to witness weightlessness and stuff like that for a few seconds. But I'm saying, if you get tossed into space, do you think that it, like, totally changes your perspective? And, like, if your perspective is ground up and these aliens, I was watching Arrival, okay? I was watching Arrival and the aliens came down. Now, I don't know if you haven't seen this, spoiler alert, all right? So, I'm going to tell you some shit. So, the aliens come down. I know it's old, but it took me a while. It was kind of boring when I first watched it. So, I turned it off and started again. Anyway, the point is that the aliens come down, and essentially they're trying to give us a message. They're trying to help, okay? And the way that they think, the way they talk, and the way they react in this movie is totally different. So it made me think, if you're on Earth, and then you have to go from Earth to another planet, and you have to spend any amount of time in space, okay? Forget being high. Just you have to spend any amount of time in space. Does your perspective start to shift to, like, something that's, like, way more broad, way wider? Is that what happens? Because I feel like that's what would happen. And all the little things that, like, okay, so I feel like, I've been saying this a lot, make it a drinking game. But I feel like if our perspective changed by going to space and spending time in space, it would change for the better. It would change towards a more human race-oriented governmental system rather than this like individual country. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like it would culminate in like a board. Like a board of directors. You know what I mean? No one guy overseeing it, but heads of each country being one thing. And I feel like the petty bullshit between ourselves would stop. So if we were to actually hop in space to another planet and we started to colonize that planet and we did what we do here, which is essentially the same thing, build some infrastructure, right? Get some things going. Maybe build a dome so that you don't have to wear a spacesuit. And then you live in that like culture, you know, like a biodome kind of, I guess. But your perspective in that culture is different now. Like racism shifts, goes away because everybody recognizes that we need everybody else, you know? So yeah, I feel like that would change. But aside from everything, I think that's what an alien species would bring to us. I don't necessarily think that aliens would be as like aggressive and violent as we normally portray them. Like, what if they're actually very helpful beings? You know what I'm saying? Like what if Arrival is right? Like they just came down to be like, hey man, we have some things to tell you because like we figured some stuff out. And they like, here you go. You know? Yeah, man. I feel like aliens have a bad rap. And I'm not talking like organism alien life. I'm talking about like full blown, let's say, you know, like gray alien type shit comes and meets us. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that would be I don't think they'd be as aggressive. Like think about it, okay? E.T. was not aggressive to anybody. E.T. just wanted to go the fuck home. Okay? All he was trying to do was call home. That was the whole movie. Alright? And every other movie depicts them as like alien. Like Sigourney Weaver alien. No, don't get me wrong. I love that shit. I love that badass killing alien, all that stuff. But what if aliens are not like, what if they're just sort of figuring things out too, but not on our level, on a higher level, right? So they've figured out how to interact with us. And if that's the first time we've interacted, how do you know that that's not the first time they've interacted and they're just curious like we're curious? Why do we always have to jump off this like cliff of, oh, wartime, they're going to come and take our planet? You know why? Because we're fucking afraid, man. We're afeared of other things because other things can kill us and we know it. So to live in space, I feel like you'd have to be high. You'd have to be high on something. Because, like, okay, if movies are correct, and there are giant warlording fucking aliens across the galaxy trying to kill us and do all that fun shit, right? I would rather be high than live a life of, like, total fear. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was really high and some, like, weird alien-looking fucking thing came popping out of the fucking water at me one day, I would totally shit my pants. And that would be pure fear. But maybe it'd kill me quick. I don't know. But I'd definitely rather be high. Plus, you're in the fucking solar system, man. You get to see, if you're living on a different planet, you get to see different areas of the sky. It's different shit. And you get to, like, when you're high on weed, you get to hypothesize. Speaking of which, this was another thing. Part of one of the articles that I read when I was trying to find out if you could smoke weed in space, they do have two things, okay? They have more things than this, but they also have, okay? They have weed plants and coffee plants in space because they're trying to see, they're running biological testing to see if how long they can survive, what they could do. So, like, we bring it with us. I'm just saying. So yeah, it would be fucking awesome being high in space. And then if you colonized a place and you were all fucking high in space, dude. Okay, let's say that we went to Mars, right? So we go to Mars. We're living on Mars. I know I've gone back to this a few times, but you go and we set up like our whole situation, like I said, neighborhoods and stuff, and you're going to call on your buddy fucking Pete, okay? And you're in a fucking spacesuit, and you're a pothead, and you don't want to just eat edibles, you miss the smoke. Do you think you could rig and figure out how to make a spacesuit that's like a bong rig too? Just constantly fill it with a cycle of a good balance of weed and oxygen? Dude, that'd be so much fun. You're walking down the street, all baked out, just a constant pump of fucking smoke, and your big... I wish I had a space helmet right now. Dude, that would be so awesome. That'd be fucking... Yeah, it would be... Think about it. Seriously, that's all I got. Think about it for a second. I'm so high right now. I feel like I am in space. I feel like I'm floating. I hope you're enjoying the sesh. I know I haven't really talked about anything important, but I also feel like I could be like a space army guy, but I can't, you know? Like, I feel like I could. Like, if alien came after me and, like, I had a ray gun, I'd shoot that fucking alien. What if aliens were like Paul? Like, have you ever seen the movie Paul? It's fucking hilarious, man. With Simon Pegg and, shit, I don't remember the other guy's name. But, this alien comes down and he talks just like us and he's all attitudey and he just wants to get out of there. He's not a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's actually funny. Funny little green or gray alien. And he walks around with them trying to find a spaceship so he can get home. And I imagine, what if they're like that? I don't feel like aliens. I feel like there are planets, probably, with aliens out there that'll eat your fucking head. I would figure, right? But maybe there's other planets out there where there's like, maybe there's comedy alien planet. Maybe it's just a bunch of funny ass aliens that tell like space jokes and shit. You don't know. You ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Dude, read that. That shit sounds like fun. But there are, again, bad aliens, you know? If you've seen it, watch the movie. That shit's hilarious. But that's how I more picture the galaxy. I don't picture it as like these, I don't know, like ant-looking lizard beings that come eating everything that they can fucking find. I don't think so, you know? But I don't know, because I'm not a fucking scientist, as Bo pointed out last episode. So... yeah. All right. Let's get to some weed facts with the ganja gong. So, our first fact of the day, of course, is going to be about space. Well, they're all about space. And they're all found on BuzzFeed.com. So, you can check them out. Thanks for the honk, truck. I don't know if you heard that, but they honked. Okay. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is so vast that even at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to traverse it. Do you think, I wonder if human life will like evolve to live longer and longer and longer. I wonder if space helps human, like in the future, helps human life evolve and stay a thing for long, a people for longer and longer. I wonder that. All right, going along the same thing with the galaxy, with the Milky Way. In about 4.5 billion years, the Milky Way is expected to collide with the Andromeda Galaxy. It's our closest galactic neighbor, and that collision is going to form a giant elliptical galaxy. I do not know if we will be a part of it. I hope so. I also hope that I'm alive in 4.5 billion years, maybe. I don't know. And fact number 3. Let's see. All of the planets in our solar system, I didn't know this. I don't know if you know this. Maybe you do. Maybe you think I'm an idiot for reading these, but whatever, man. They're fun. Did you know that all the planets in our solar system easily fit between the Earth and the Moon with an extra 2,729 miles to spare? Dude, think about that. And those are the weed facts of the day. You know what'd be fun? Flying a spaceship like the Millennium Falcon, if it ever gets to the point where we are able to build shit like that. Or what was that movie when I was a kid? All of them. The Last Starfighter, is that it? Which one's the one with the kid where he gets in the spaceship and the spaceship's just like a little oval and he flies it around with his hands? That's the movie I'm talking about. Imagine doing that shit. That would be like playing video games. And like, you'd think, I don't know how long do you think it would take to adjust to the fact that you live in space and it's like actually reality? That's another good question. What does it take? Like, what experiences do you have to be like not nervous in space? Because if something bad happens, think about it. You're in fucking space. You're not on Earth. I mean, if something bad happens on Earth, it's not good either. But, like, you're in space. You're in unknown territory. You can't, there's no, like, hey, call that guy. You know what I mean? Oh, dude. And if you started on a new planet, would you not have to learn how that planet works again? Like, with all, like, okay, so we have the Ice Age and shit like that, right? And asteroids hit the planet, and then, things change, and we evolve, and blah, blah, blah. Right? So wouldn't we have to learn the history of that planet, the other planet that we're going to, and know it and understand it really well before we go there? Because otherwise, we're just putting ourselves in like a situation where we're counting on something else to take care of us. And especially in like, if we're going to planet hop, it's going to take time to get there. People are going to die on the way over there. So like, our population is going to go way down by the time we reach that planet, right? Dude, there's so much to space. It's so vast. The fact that we are like a galaxy within a galaxy within a galaxy within like, oh my God. It's incredible when you think about it. And I feel like space does fucking switch your perspective. I feel like our perspective, if we all moved there, like I said before, would be more universal. Maybe not one government, but like, well, yeah, I don't know. I feel like for it to work, you'd have to have a one government amassed of like all the governments. And they'd have to not be dicks. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd have to dude, that'd be fucked. We'd lose a lot of people. Or, you know what else could happen? We'd fucking spread out separately. So, like, North America and whatever would go to one planet. Or maybe maybe everybody would just go to the one planet and, again, just stake it like we do here. And then there is no one government. And we just planet hop with the same sort of mentality. I don't know. I feel like space should change your mentality, right? Like, it's way more fast. Dude. We could be a molecule inside a shoelace. I'm just saying. I know it's stupid, but it's okay. But I definitely lean more towards the fact that aliens are not out to kill us. Like here's a good example, alright? I know that everybody... Okay, that's not what I want to say. Let me think here. Okay. We should be generally afraid of certain things, like certain animals and stuff like that. And I think that fear is ingrained in us. And that's why sometimes we act the way we do. and we perceive things as a threat that sometimes aren't a threat. Now, a bear is always a threat. However, okay, there is the potential that there's a one-off where it can become your buddy. Okay? So, this food for thought situation here. Not everybody gets this, but not everybody can do this with an animal because most of the time we're afraid of it. So, okay, I'll get to the point. So, there's a bear. So corny. I love it. Okay, there's a bear. Let me see here. I have this. Okay, so this is from Insider.com. There was a bear that fought with Poland in World War II and was promoted to the rank of a corporal. Okay? A bear. I think it was a brown bear. Little one. It wasn't too big, not from the picture that they showed. But you can find it on Insider.com. So this thing, okay, what is it? Okay, I'm not going to pronounce this right. Wojtek, the soldier bear, was released from the prison camps of Siberia, only to be picked up in Iran by Allied forces. A Polish army looked after the bear, and then the bear ended up helping out with the war effort by moving ammunition to and from the battle of Monte Cristo in Italy. After he was promoted to the rank of corporal. And then after the Allies won World War II, he moved to Britain and lived in the Edinburgh Zoo until 1963. So who's to say we can't get along with aliens? We could get along with bears. Sure, it was trained to deliver ammunition and we figured it was expendable. But hey, I guess aliens could think like that was us too, right? But I'm just saying, it's incredible that you could have a bear work for you and work with you. And we assume that every alien is out to fucking perforate our skull with some kind of tentacle. You know, come on, man. It can't be the case every time. It can't be, right? Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this drink, that bong hit, this joint, this garage may be a spaceship. Fuck. I could open this door and everything could be gone. Alright, I'm too high. Oh. Yeah. So I guess that's my thoughts off the stem for this week. I hope you come back next week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. And I hope you come back again next week with me, Justin Barone, on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you get a podcast. Good Pods, Podchaser. And don't forget to check out the Tots 420 shop on the Tots Linktree, which I'll put in the description. And get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, hat. Yeah, so I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. And again, thank you for joining the sesh. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.